Mr. Gators. Here. Mr. Gallagher.
Here.
Mr. Buckley. There's a quorum present.
As you wish, please stand for the pledge and the invocation. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Commissioner?
Dear Lord, thank you for the beautiful days you've given us and this better weather that we're about to have. Dear Lord, please be with us as we make the best decisions we can make for the county. Dear Lord, keep those safe and be with those that are in need. A lot of our own here that are hurting need your guidance, dear Lord. I ask this in your Son Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you. Consent agenda is on the board. It has been published. Motion?
I make a motion we accept the consent agenda.
Second? I second that. Any comments, questions? Okay, all in favor of accepting the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Okay, purchase new equipment for new cars. Buck? You're on the podium. Let's go.
On podium. Okay, I'm requesting, funds for upfitting new cars.
How many?
There's gonna be 5 Tahoes that'll cost, $34,298.
Total?
Well, we have some equipment that we're gonna reuse.
Okay.
Older stuff.
Starts says it's been running 12,000 apiece.
Right, and, it's gonna save us about 8,000 or 9,000
Okay,
for
good.
stuff that we're gonna reuse from stuff that we took off of previous cars.
The next item on the agenda, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
So, anyway, that's what I'm requesting right now.
And this has deer guards on it.
Deer guards, you can call it whatever you want to, that's what we call them right now.
Okay.
Deer guards, cages, light bars, anyway,
What about radios?
radios,
Okay,
Yeah.
that's in the price?
that's in the price.
Okay.
And, anyway, 34,298, 48.
Okay, and this has been bid or sole source or what?
It's sole source, it's
Okay.
code 3.
Okay.
I make a motion that we
Go.
approve, oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's a government contract, through code 3.
Okay, good.
Purchase the new equipment for the cars for upfitting for 5 Tahoes. The equipment totaling $34,298.48, a sole source, and for the sheriff's department.
I second that. Any questions?
I believe it's state contract.
Yeah,
not
NASPO
sole source.
contract.
Yeah,
State
it's
contract.
state contract,
Yeah.
not sole
State
source.
contract?
Yeah.
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you.
Any other questions or comments?
Thank you, brother.
All in favor of approving this purchase, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Buck, you're next.
Yeah. We got, 3 cars we need to get rid of, or,
That's an old picture. I just filled full of.
yeah, that's about the same. 2010 Crown Vic, 310,000 miles on it. It does still run, but it's seen its better days. 2004 van, got 238,000 miles on it. And, 2005 pickup truck, 240,000.
All these vehicles still run? More or less?
Yeah, they run, that's
Okay.
about it.
That's about it.
You know,
Okay.
We don't really wanna put no more money in them, I mean, their bodies are pretty rough and,
Okay.
you know, they ain't really worth.
Okay, now by salvage, what are you gonna do with them?
Well, the Crown Vic, I can put that in auction because it's, well, it's Crown Vic in the van. And the pickup truck right now, we can, it's running right now. But if we run it anymore, it ain't. it's-
Don't buy it and plan to drive it home?
That's right.
Okay.
Do you think that that would be a good van to use for what I was talking about earlier? That's not.
We're getting rid of, for
Sorry.
no reason,
That means you'd have.
or for a reason,
Is that pickup four-wheel
Thank you.
drive?
yeah.
Okay, all in favor of salvaging these vehicles,
I'm-
please say aye.
Well, I make a motion that we salvage these vehicles, that Buck listed, for the sheriff's department.
Okay, now we're gonna leave that up to Buck on how to salvage them or what?
Oh, yeah, cause I mean, he's already got the
Well,
plan.
If they're running, the auction house will take them. If they're not running, they won't. So the last ones I got rid of, I had to
keep the keys in your pocket,
I
what you're saying.
salvaged them, yeah.
Okay.
But there's a couple of these that we can
And you're talking 3?
auction, yeah.
Okay.
So, but when we get all these other cars on the road, there's some more we're gonna salvage out, so I'd like to wait till we get probably half a dozen where we have the auction company come in and look at them, because it's a process.
But you want to approve these now?
I want these approved now,
Okay.
then later on down the road, we approve the other ones.
Okay.
When we figure out which ones we're, yeah.
Okay, any questions?
But
Now, we do
I
have
just
second.
want these now so we take them off our insurance.
Oh, okay, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, you have a motion, I'll second that. Any questions? All in favor of allowing these vehicles to be salvaged, please say aye. Aye. Thank you, Buck. Okay, Jason, you wanna talk about a grant proposal here?
So this grant's similar to one we did, I believe, in 2020, and it's just gonna be a tire recycling grant. Solid waste through the district. So basically, it'll run kinda like our other one did, we'll run it for a month. We'll pick up tires as we see them, and then we'll allow residents to drop off tires at the shop to be loaded and taken to a recycler. And this is mainly to prevent illegal dumping of tires, thrown in the creeks and the roadsides. And we really don't have an outlet for tires in the county. We had actually contacted this morning by a resident wanting to know where to dispose of tires. They're cleaning up a lot in Deloge, and they said they got about 50 tires, which right now we don't have anybody to take them. So I had them contact Alan at the transfer yard to see if he had an outlet for it. So the grant total, it's an 85 or 75-25 split. The total grant cost was a little over 49,000.
By cost, you mean income on that or what?
Right, total cost as far as equipment use, manpower, tire shredding, and stuff like that.
Okay, I still don't understand.
Reimbursement.
Reimbursement, yeah.
Okay,
so-
that's the word I'm looking for,
So,
okay.
but that's with us doing 25% in kind.
Hmm,
So, and then we would ask 85% reimbursement through the grant.
okay.
That's a $49,000
Total, yeah.
total.
Now, do you have to transport these tires somewhere,
Yes.
somewhere? And where would that be?
The shredder we used last time was in St. Louis.
Okay, so that's quite a hauling
Yeah.
deal on that. And you don't get that many tires on a truck.
Well, so the last grant they did, DNR actually provided the trailers. We loaded them there and then they transported them.
Okay, so they did the hauling on it.
Right.
That's good. Okay, what are these tires used for?
That shred and landfill,
Okay,
as far as I know.
okay. All right. Now, tires do tend to float when they're buried, so needs to be shredded. Okay, I have an argument with them on the shingles, but other than that.
Right.
Okay. Motion?
I make a motion, we give permission to apply for the solid waste management grant for the highway department, road bridge, at $49,000 total, and the 75-25 are included. Our part is a 25.
Okay, I second that. Any questions? Okay, thank you, Jason. And all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, award the annual bids. There's a list of the groups that do wish to award the bids. And so a motion to award those bids.
I'll make a motion, we award the annual bids for the commissioner, circuit judge, circuit court reporter, circuit marshal, road and bridge, county clerk, and treasurer.
I second that. Questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, Jason, you're back up on the podium here. Reject the asphalt bid.
So when we opened our annual bids for asphalt, we had only received one bid, which was unusual because we usually receive 2 or 3. So I don't know. I do know that some of them missed it. I don't know why. But we really need more of a broad spectrum of availability to get asphalt at multiple locations. Because you could run into a situation where we go to Leadville and they might be doing a MoDOT project and we might not be able to get any asphalt.
So we like to have that alternative where we can go to the other location and get asphalt,
And a closer location too.
depending on where we are in the county, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so, we need a motion to reject the one bid they have and a permission to rebid.
So you're wanting to reject the bid for reason of what, that other people didn't bid?
No, well, to get a more competitive bid.
That's why you bid. Now, if you wanna open it up to a future, supplier, that's one thing, but to reject the bid because other people didn't bid,
Yeah, I see your point.
why the heck would you bid?
That's why they
And I
didn't
do-
bid.
Yeah, and I do understand what you're saying.
What's that?
We usually get,
That's why they didn't bid.
I think with Johnny Glenn in the past, they have accepted all the bids for their, because that way if they're up in the other end of the county. But I don't know what, I just have to make sure that what the legality is to being able to reject bids
Yes,
when
we
we
didn't have
want
to.
bid, you know what I mean, so.
Could this affect us in the future though?
Yeah.
If we're telling them.
Tell them that, so.
Well, they already.
Might
just
keep
wanted to
it
bid.
from bidding in the future on this, you know, then we could just cancel it because we won't.
Yeah, I say we table this for the, we'll find out all the information we
Okay.
can. If
Sounds
you don't
good.
mind to research that.
Okay, let's table this
Just to
one.
make sure.
I'm
see
okay,
where he's coming
you see
from.
what I'm saying, I'm
I-
saying it might be
definitely.
easier for us
Good point.
to bring more people in to meet our sole supply for the northern part of the county or something else,
Yeah.
than to reject it because there wasn't anybody competing with it.
Okay, good point. So we've tabled that one.
Gotcha.
Table it or advisement?
You're gonna
Let's
I would
say,
table it
I
if you
table
get back to you by
it,
next
we
week.
need to have it on next week's.
Okay.
Table it.
All right, table. All right, that one's tabled. Permission to bid new vehicle. Buck, you gonna handle it? Sheriff, you gonna handle it?
What we'd like to do is put out a bid for a new vehicle for the Detective Bureau. Currently, we have 5 detectives assigned. 4 are here in the county. 1 is assigned to the Drug Task Force in St. Louis for the DEA. We've done some cost analysis and determined that it's not cost effective for us to have a detective up there. And he's been using a rental vehicle. That way he can change it every 30 days, so the targets don't pick up who he is. Unfortunately, we don't have a vehicle for him. This was not a budgeted item, so we went to an alternative source, the LERF fund. They approved it. So we're just asking permission to bid that vehicle.
You say you now have money in the budget for that.
Yeah, well, it's not a budgeted item because we didn't know he was gonna be coming back. But we did reach out to the LERF board, Law Enforcement Restitution Fund, and they agreed with us
Okay.
and allowed.
So you have money available, it's just not budgeted?
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay, motion to bid this new vehicle.
Is that, what is that, alert?
Law Enforcement Restitution Fund.
Just wanna make sure. I
Yeah, the
get
guy
it
that
right
writes
in
the
my
checks
head.
knows what that is.
I make a motion that we get permission to bid the new vehicle that we paid out of the sheriff's alert fund.
Second? Okay, any questions? What kind of vehicle is this?
We're looking at a Ford pickup truck, is that right?
F-150 responder.
It's a police
It's
package.
Police package, pickup truck. F-150.
Four-wheel drive?
Four-wheel drive, crew cab.
Currently, they don't have they're all SUVs.
Mhm.
Sometimes they have to haul some things that they don't want in the passenger compartment of the vehicle, so we wanted a pickup truck.
Okay, any other questions, comments? All in favor of allowing this bid to proceed, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Sheriff. Okay, permission to enter into contract, collector, yeah.
If you don't
Angie?
mind, I'm gonna stay put because of the need today. We, Palmetto Posting, they always email us when they have sent the bids to the county clerk. We got that email on the 3rd, we never received it, they haven't received it. And so, you know, it may be an issue with the post office, we've had a lot of that going on. So they are the only ones we've ever used for this, they're the only ones who service this area. We've got their software already in our computer, and so we would like to continue with them. Go ahead and.
I looked up Palmetto, and they're more assessment than collector. They're strong in assessment, apparently, so.
They've been servicing us with this for 10 years too, and no one has ever bid on it besides them.
So what again do they do?
They go and they post on the properties that are subject to the tax sale.
By post, you mean put the sign on the door?
Yeah, they,
Okay.
well, on the door, sometimes on fences, sometimes on
Wherever,
trees.
yeah. Okay. So they physically go out to the property
Yes.
and make sure that whoever visits that property knows that there's an issue here. Okay. Is that basically all they do?
Yeah, well, that, and then they keep the records and they inform us, you know, if there was another way into the property. I mean, it's very detailed. They keep us informed, and then they update all the records. And
Who they talk to, the whole bit? Yeah, okay,
Very good.
okay.
Do we,
Yes.
have a price on any of this, or?
Right now, it is $35 a parcel, and we want to be able to have the option of renewing up to 3 years. And because of fuel costs, any new customers of those are coming in at 40. They want to keep us at 35, and then next year 37.25 or 37.50, and then the 40 after the 3 years.
So you send them a list of all the properties in question,
Yes.
and they hit the county, excuse me, and do all that whole list, and so at $40 or $35 a pop.
Yes.
And so that's how they work that, okay.
And it's, I mean, it's a major help to us. There's no way we could go out and do what they do. And last year, the cost was $16,700.
Total?
Yes, and it just depends how many properties.
Okay.
And so right now, we need to get a count of how many properties, but it's usually close to that. And then people come in and start paying, and a lot of it is because of the signs that they find.
Now, this is properties in the third year ready for sale?
It's first, second, and third year.
First, second, and third.
Anything that's subject to the tax sale.
Okay. All right,
It's just another due diligence that we do to let people know that this is gonna be going in the tax sale.
yeah.
Give, collector permission to enter into a contract with Palmetto Posting, their sole source provider.
Okay, and I second that. Questions? All in favor, aye? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, the next regular meeting will be right here next week. Agenda items yesterday, next week. Other, of course, business, correspondence, public comments. Yes, Rich?
I was watching the Weather Channel yesterday morning, and the sheriff of Wayne County, Missouri, a county badly hit by tornadoes, was discussing the issues and made mention of the fact that St. Francis County was sending a couple deputies down to assist. And if that is indeed the case, I want to thank you very much for providing that to a county that's going to go through an awful lot of pain and try to rebuild.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to thank the sheriff for that action.
Well, not only that, but Iron County reached out to us to borrow an excavator with a thumb because they have a lot of tree damage. So, Jason, you want to talk about that?
I was going to in my report.
Okay, so that's being done also to help her. We call it mutual aid, and that's, you know, they'll help us when our time comes, so that's the way we work that. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Sheriff. Any other public comments? Any departmental reports? Sheriff?
Oh, I was gonna go.
Oh, no, you're set.
Okay. Oh, okay.
See, you jumped up.
We were very fortunate with this storm. I don't know what happened, but it completely went around the county. So,
Perry had it rough and Jefferson County had it rough. And Iron.
we lucked out, so
Yeah.
kudos on that. But calls for service, we're up to 367 over the last week. That brings us up to about 38, 35 for the year. Our inmate population stands at 129, 110 males, 19 females, and just want to recognize a couple employees that went to some training. Detective Sergeant Greg Adams went to homicide investigation training in Lenexa, Kansas. So he came back with some really good forensic improvements that have happened in the law enforcement field. And Deputy Laura Lee Bader, she attended the CIT conference, which is a crisis intervention team, and just wanted to make mention of that training.
Last week, I think it was, that you mentioned that a deputy had gone off duty, I believe, and did a major good thing, but you wouldn't give his name. What was the purpose of that?
Well, I want to give recognition where recognition's
Right.
due, but then again, sometimes I don't want their name out there that much in the public because people will start maybe targeting or.
Okay. Understand, I just didn't know the reasoning behind that.
Yeah,
Okay.
we kind of keep that
Understand.
little close to the heart.
Okay. Any questions for the sheriff?
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Now, you're up.
So as previously mentioned, I talked to the presiding commissioner of Iron County, Mr. Skaggs. We talked about the equipment that we had available and what they would be interested in using. Because we have a larger excavator, the 313 cab, but it's a steel track and some of theirs is on paved roads, so they didn't want to use that on a paved road. So I talked to their road and bridge director this morning, Rick, and discussed them using one of the Kubotas. They're going to come in the morning and pick one of those up.
With a thumb.
With a thumb.
Okay.
Yeah, both of them have thumbs. And they're gonna use that down around Desart. Cause they had several roads that were completely blocked. They got them open to one lane, but they gotta do a lot of cleanup. So it's just we're gonna let them use it, and if we need it, we'll get it, and then give it back to them until they're done with it. They only have one now, and he said the rate they were going, it'd take them until summer to get the roads cleaned. They hauled, Rick said they hauled 40 loads of stuff yesterday to the burn site, and they ain't even touched it yet. So they're gonna get that in the morning. We did sustain some damage to our salt storage unit at the north location. Blew a portion of the tarp off. I gotta get with ClearSpan to get some cost estimates on the replacement. I know this section's smaller than the section you had in 22, so it will be a little cheaper, but it'll be something that we install ourselves. And then today, I got guys up there covering the exposed salt with tarps that we bought from the local vendor. And then we'll put sandbags on it just to keep it from getting wet. Because if it gets wet enough, about 8-10 inches of that will get concrete hard. So we want to protect it as much as we can until we get the replacement covered. I think the last time this happened, it took 2 or 3 months to get a cover. So we'll get that. So we got guys up there. We still got guys cleaning up brush from the ice storm that then got blew out of the trees by the wind. So it's still damaged. So we're having to go back over roads we've already been over.
Is this cover, is that the one that was gonna last 40 years and no problems?
Well, 20 to 30 is what they guarantee the actual.
And it's already been
Fabric
torn
for
up
it.
twice in 5 years?
Well, yeah, because if it's not properly installed, then they don't warranty it. And usually they'll only warranty it if it's installed by one of their vendors. So if we install it ourselves, we don't receive that type of warranty. We've got guys still patching. We got a lot of roads to patch. We originally were gonna get hot mix this week, but the asphalt plant's changed where they're not doing it until further notice. So we're using cold mix still, the stuff that we get out of Festus. Easy Street they call it. Then we got the inmate crew out picking up trash. What we got going today?
Any questions about road and bridge?
I contacted MoDOT again about the trash and what their ideas were. I've gotten a lot of calls on trash in our area. I know it's coming to spring, so it's a lot anyway, but it seems really bad since nobody got to do their Adopt a Highway in November like is usually done. So if you notice the sides of the highways, they're extremely bad. And Corbin said that they do have a crew out, but the state's only got 1 or 2 crews for the whole.
Tell me about that Adopt a Highway, what's happening there?
They did away with the Adopt a Highway, so now there's no more, your club you're cleaning up the highway, so I don't know why. I asked them what they were going to, maybe you know, Kevin, I don't know what they were going to replace it with. And there are some ideas out there, but it doesn't seem like it's working. I mean.
They wouldn't go along with mine, Bill.
I don't know. I know the section of highway's really bad.
Execute first one they caught, and then the rest would get in line, but.
I remember that. I remember that.
But the problem is in the county, we had to adopt the road too, and they weren't doing it. Their signs would go up and, I remember.
They lost interest after a while.
Yeah, and I talked to your predecessor about that. They said, well, I went out to Hurryville and it's pretty clean. I said, yeah, I clean it every week because nobody, all those people on the signs never come out and clean it. So
That's why they said they got rid of that program.
yeah, there was more cost in replacing the signs for the volunteers than the people actually picking up the trash. But,
Sorry.
I've got just a couple things on the election.
Yeah.
We're halfway through the pre-election and we've had approximately 50 people vote countywide. Now we've got 3 mayor races, we've got 2 fire districts races. We have 2 bond issues in Farmington School District, 1 in one of the West County area, and we haven't had very many. I brought a sample ballot if anybody wants it, but this is the reason that the ballot has to be longer this time, is because this is the explanation of the bond issue, and we don't like to go into 2 columns because then it becomes confusing what you're trying to vote on. So very much, we have 1 more week of where you have to tell us why you're voting early, and then next Tuesday starts the no excuse, the 2 weeks of no excuse ballot.
Okay. Any other departmental reports? Yes.
Just like to mention, I've been asked by several people how many people have came to enroll in the senior tax credit.
Yes.
As of yesterday, the 11th day, 771.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Now, you're telling them this isn't going into effect to next year, right?
It's, correct, that's when anything will show up. It's their base year is for 2025.
One other quick question. I had talked to somebody the other day in the hallway, and they were expressing the fact that they couldn't have their taxes go up because they were on Social Security and didn't have any, didn't want to be taxed out of their house. And I asked about the state program. Are you giving out any information on the state program as far as the?
I have mentioned it to people because there's still
Yeah,
programs.
there's
out there.
information on that because I'd say 25% to 30% of the people that are applying for this shouldn't be paying taxes, should be getting it back from the state.
Right.
Every time we have the
Is that
board
based
here,
on income?
and people start talking about that, we find out that a lot of them don't have to, and you can fill that out, and ARC will do it at the Farmington Library for them, and then they get this year's taxes back. We don't lose the money, but the state has a fund to pay them back, and they'll pay this year's and last year's. So if somebody presents that they are really financially strapped, the state has got material on that.
Is it the circuit breaker?
Yes.
Circuit breaker?
That's what it is, yeah.
Harold?
There's an income
Yeah,
cap. Does that ever change with inflation?
I think there is a CPI, cost of living adjustment, but I'm not for certain on that. They adjust it every once in a while, and I assume that that's the reason they adjust it, but that may not be right now. I just know that if majority of your income is Social Security, for most Social Security recipients, if you don't have a lot of extra income, then you qualify. It's $37,000. That if you make less than that a year, then you can get circuit breaker and get your taxes back.
And not to interrupt, and don't quote me on this, but I don't think they've adjusted that in a number of years.
They might not, they adjusted when we were there, but like I said, I don't know why they were adjusting, if it was just to try to bring it up a little bit, or the fact that they were using some type of index to do it. I don't know.
That's one of the problems I have with policy making. I don't like to see numbers and dates in legislation. We need to have factors.
Any comments on that? Questions? Any other departmental reports? Okay, we got parts of the cooler for the jail. It was arrived yesterday or today. So that's the box that will go in. It's not quite ready yet, but things are moving ahead on that. The Berry Road Bridge is progressing. I dare you to try to cross it right now, but other than that.
Please don't.
So it's moving along. Maybe you shouldn't say moving, but progressing. Okay, and
Well, I make a motion we adjourn.
I second that. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Thank you.